All right. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and girls, if any of you guys are watching. This is a quick little run through of the game that I am working on. Names to be undetermined, but I'm leaning towards a certain one already. So, this is the team cards. This is I have a typo already up top. I'm working on another season right now. So that's why that is the way it should be. It should be 1961-62, but we'll run with what I got. Kind of gives you an idea where they played at, their coaches, what the coach's grade is. That only comes into play with the quick sim part of the game. Their points that they scored against, offensive rate, defensive rate, that comes into play also with fast breaks and also with the quick sim, and the points that they score per quarter on average, and that would also be a part of the quick sim. You're going to roll a d20. Each team would have their own d20, so you're rolling two d20s to find out which player, offense and then defense. I guess if you only have one d20, you could roll that twice. You would roll for your defense, offense first, then your defense. Down here, you'd roll d20 again to see if you want to press. This would be coming out of a halftime or start of a quarter and a timeout. You would intentionally foul if you're 7 down. Automatically you would intentionally foul if you're losing by 7 and there's a minute left. This team intentionally fouls if they're down by 8. If you call a timeout, this is kind of designed for a 2-player but also solo mode. If the coach was to call a timeout, this plus minus would come into effect. You get to add or subtract to the shot total. I'll kind of explain that to you. And this card hasn't been updated. Obviously, it's a typo already, but there should be a steal assist down here, and that is that comes into play with the pace of the game. This game could be very complex. I would say it's got a very basic play to it, and then there's also the advanced. The advanced probably would take you 2.5 hours to play, and the basic would probably take maybe an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour and a half. And then you also have, if you're going to play zone or man, you can roll for those. You don't have to have that part of the game. If you're doing advanced, you probably would roll for that, and that's at the start of a quarter or coming out of half or a timeout. You'd roll to see if you're going to go into a zone and a man defense. If you do that, that actually does come into play. Most of the time you're going to be in a man, like most teams play man. But if you do go into a zone, there are benefits to that. And that will be explained in the rules. I'm not going to go too far into too much detail. I'm just kind of give you a little overview of kind of how the game is. So I'm going to just run a quick tip off for you in 2 or 3 possessions just to show you how it rolls. So our centers for tip off is Wilt Chamberlain, and you're going to look at his rebound. D rebound is a 10, and Bill Russell, his D rebound is a 10, so they're even. So you roll your two D20s. Chamberlain is the home team, so he's the light color, and Russell is dark. So we got a 19 and a 9. So Russell got the tip, and then we're going to go right into setting up for play, and how this would go. So this is going to be, as I go for dice on the ground, this is going to show us who's getting the ball, where the shot's coming from. So 18 for the Celtics is going to be the shooting guard, and the shooting guard is Sam Jones. So we'll put that there to mark him. And defense is a 4, and a 4 on defense is Chamberlain. So Chamberlain is guarding Sam Jones. The D3, the D6, and the D10 don't come into play right now. The red D12 is where he is shooting from, and that's going to be 11. He's shooting it deep, so we'll keep that in mind. And the 9 on the other D12 tells us where he's shooting it from, and it's going to be right there. So for anybody who's doing any kind of shot analytics, that's how it would look. Sam Jones is shooting it deep. Chamberlain is guarding him. All right, so now where the fact cards would come into play, fast action cards would come into play, would be you don't have to add these dice up. But if you're just rolling dice, this is where it kind of gets a little cumbersome because you have to add all these dice up. So we have a 9 and 11, that's 20. And an 18, that's 38. And another 4 and 4 is 8. That's 46. And 3 is 49. Now that we have that, we take into Chamberlain's defensive rating, which is a plus 10. So it was 48. Right? 46, 49. Plus 10 is a 59. So then we come down here, look in the deep area, that's where he's shooting from, and it's a 59. He missed. Question mark. So we need to check this D10 to Sam Jones's, because he's on offense. Did he draw the foul, or did he commit the foul? He drew the foul. So it's a 4. That should be a D. It should be a 10, not a 12. These cards are already been tweaked, and that's a typo. So 1 to 8, he drew the foul, and he got a 4, so he drew the foul on Chamberlain. First shot. So now we would shoot free throws. And I apologize for the shakiness of the camera. I'm not used to holding the tripod. So his free throw is a 1 to 66. So you would have to add these dice up again or flip a fast action card. Obviously that is way less than 66. You got 9, 9, that's 18. 12 is 30. It's 39. So he makes the first one. Second one would be it's 9, 26, 36. Yeah, so he makes the second one. Okay, so that's that. That's their possession. And now we're going to come down 2-zip Boston Celtics. Chamberlain would have 1 foul on him. All right, we're going to set up for the Warriors. We're going to look to see who's getting the ball, the shot. 3 is going to be the shooting guard, and that's going to be Al Attles. Defense is number 4, and that's going to be Bill Russell. 4, and if you can see, I'll move that up some. 1 to 4, defense is the center. All right. Where is he shooting from? 4, or what range? That's a short shot for him. And D2 on the other D12 is going to be right at the basket. And then you got a 6 and a 1. That doesn't come into play. The D6 is for timing. And I don't have the timing chart up, so I'm not even taking that into showing you how that works. And this is just solely working with dice. Obviously, the fat cards would, or the fast action cards would speed up the process, because you don't have to count all these dice math-wise. He's got a +8 on defense, so we're going to add 8 to this. So I've got a 2 and a 4. We're going to go ahead and do 10. 10 and 6. That's 16. 3 is 9. 19 and a 1 is 20. So that shot was 20. Plus Bill Russell's 8. So that's 28. So now we come over here and we're looking at 28. It's good with a question mark. So Addles made it and possibly drew the foul. So now we look at the D10 and it's a 6 and he drew the foul. So Russell got the foul called on him, and now we're going to look at Addles' free throw is a 47. And you can see I got on the cards all their stats. He is a 59% free throw shooter. Not too good. So we got 17 and 17. That's 34. That's a 10. That's 34, 44. So he missed. He needed a 47 or less, and he shot 50 something, 57 looks like. So this, that, and then you would go for the rebound. So that's kind of the gist of the cards. How the team cards come into effect. If you were playing 2 players and a coach or another player called a timeout, you would do this. So say we came in from a timeout, say the Warriors called a timeout, and they're given, it's going to go into Chamberlain. You take into account the plus minus, and the cool thing about the plus minus is you don't make that decision until you see the total. Even after you do the defensive adjustment, you would look over here and say it was like a 40, say it's 52, 52, and we have a plus minus 7. So we come over here and Chamberlain shooting a 52, and it's a plus minus 7. So 52 is going to be right in that defensive area. But you haven't done the plus minus off the timeout. So if you minus 7 from 52, he would fall, he'd be right at 45, so it'd still be in the defense. So if you add 2, make it 59, that pushes him into good. And then you would say, I'm going to go plus. I would add the 7 and push him into the good, so he's going to make the basket. So those are kind of the benefits of the coaches calling a timeout. You get the option to plus or subtract that amount. And it changes per coach because every coach is a little different as far as calling plays and stuff. So, or motivating their team. So there you go. That was kind of a brief description of card layout, card play, locations. These cards still need to be a little tweaked. That should be a D10, not a D12, not a D12. And then you've got your deep shots. Obviously that come more into play with 3-pointers, but Even back in the day, they would still shoot deep. They just were counted as twos because they didn't have that 3-point, at least in the NBA till mid 70s. I mean, I think the ABA had it, but the NBA didn't. And then I think the NBA adopted it after they took over the ABA, so, or merged with them. So, all right. I hope that kind of like explains some things, kind of what's everybody's appetite, kind of gives you an idea of what this game's about. There's a quick sim to it, and the off at the defensive rating and the quarters, and also the coach's letter grade comes into play with this quick sim. So, all right. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, like, why are you making this game, dude? Let me know in the comments. You can message me or hit me up on Facebook. Until then, I hope everyone stays safe, and I'll see you next time.